Hello. Today we are going to see how we can translate houses with the WPML plugin. We have installed and set up WPML with the automatic translation, and it has translated many of the pages and properties and types, but we need to review and correct many of the automatically translated strings, because it uses Google Translate or robotic translation. So robotic translation are not always good. So we can review translated strings or as well as translated pages. For example, if we go into the pages here, and you can see the about, it has translated, but it is not perfectly translated, and we can review or correct the Arabic version here, or the any other language that we have added to the WPML plugin. So if we want to edit the Arabic version, we can click on the edit, and we can see if uh, all of the provided translation are correct or not. By default, the original about version or the about page of English version is using the default houses text here. So you can see here it has automatically translated those, and it also translated the lorem ipsum dummy code. So you can review here. If you need to correct these, you can simply click on it, and here you can provide the correct translations. For example, here Elementor, the plugin, or sometimes no means no, or the no means number, so it has picked that as number, because rakam in Arabic is number, and hide. These are all little or minor texts, but here you can see the full sentences, and if you need to correct these, you can correct here. Simply click on uh, the sentence or the word, and it will load those translation here, and you can simply edit this Arabic version here. Sometimes the auto translation depends on your setting. If you have enabled the automatic publishing of your translation on your WPML settings. For example, if you go into here translation management, and here you can see change your automatic translation settings. When you click on it, so you can change to review the translated before publishing, publish translation and review them later, or publish translation without reviewing. So it depends on your setting. By default, it was review the translation before publishing. So it has translated many pages, but they are waiting to be reviewed, or waiting to be published. For example, there is a page that says apartments in New York. So if you click on, if you hover on it, it shows review Arabic language. So if I click on it, and if I see many of the things are looking fine, then I can simply this button depends on your selected language. For example, it says Nashar Hada Tarjuma, it means publish this translation. So I'm going to simply publish this translation, and it has been accepted. And if we go back and reload, it will change to the pencil icon. The I means it needs your review. For example, this page complete order, this was automatically translated, but it needs review. So I am going to click on it, and preview is something is not correct. Let's go back and load another one. For example, this grid default, if I am going to review this one here. uh, uh, Most of the things look same. For example, if this string wasn't translated, or this one wasn't translated, or you can see that this cover is not translated, you can go into string translation. I am going to show you that one. You can simply go into string translation and copy and search this string, and then refresh. It will load the that translated version. So I'm going to simply nasher or publish this translation. um, this is how you can review and translate the pages. So all of these pages were translated automatically. I have simply review and publish those, but it needs correct Arabic translation on many of the pages. For example, this about page needs to be updated with your own website text in English as well as in Arabic one. So right now it is using the default text of that comes from Houzez installation. um, then we have these home pages. For example, if we go into next page, and you can see here it was automatically translated, but I needed to do some fixes to make it perfectly looking front page of Arabic as well as English. It all depends on your selected home page. For example, you can make this home with map as your front page. The front page of your website always hinted with this front page text here. So if you want to change the front change a few things on your front page, you can simply edit this or edit the pages with Elementor. If your page was built with Elementor, so you can for example, this page was made with Elementor, so you can edit this page with Elementor, and you will see translated version for Elementor when you switch to Arabic here, or the other language that you are using. I have simply reviewed this and published this, but as I already said, these are automatically translated pages. You need to review every page by yourself to provide correct translation into your native language. Um, Despite the automatic translation, there are still few strings. Let me switch to the front end version of the website here. So there are still few things that needs to be translated to your language. For example, if I simply click search, and if I see this property here, and here you can see this message is not properly translated, or name is not translated, or phone or email, or all these options as well as ear built or garage or bathrooms or bedrooms. So how we can fix these? We need to use the most of the things were translated, but we see here and there are few things that needs translation. And how can we translate those? We can use the string translation feature of the WPML plugin. Here we can go into string translation, and we can see there is a section that shows string in English, and here you can see the pencil icon. That means if you want to update this translated string, or there is a plus icon, which means if you want to provide new translation to non-translated word in Arabic. Plus means it wasn't translated before, and you need to provide that. Um, most of the times you don't want to translate the URL slugs or URL part of the text, because if you do want to translate, it is fine, it is not prohibited, but most of the times you don't want to translate these slugs to keep them in English, and it sometimes it breaks the structure of your URLs. Most websites like Houzez do support translated URLs. So I'm just saying, if you come across a slug, and you should really think about translating those. I mean, if you really need to translate those or not. And we normally don't want to translate every string available. For example, if you can see here, it is showing like 12 25 total strings that needs to be translated, but we just talk about the things that houses that comes from admin text houses options. So these are the strings that Houzez uses to display on your front end as well as admin panel. For example, here you can see it is showing some message type thing that you can translate if you want to send translated messages to your users. For example, this says, "Hi there, you have a new updated listing on website." So pay attention to this percent sign here. It is prefixed to a variable type text. So you don't want to translate the variable with percent sign. You simply want to translate the normal text on this message. For example, here you can see update listing on, then it says percent website URL. We just see its Arabic translation here. um, it it has Arabic translation for the update listing on, and then it simply uses the website URL. Sometimes in your native language, the variable needs to be start of the sentence or somewhere in um, between the sentence, between the words. So you can simply copy and paste it in the desired location, but keep in mind percent and spelling of the variable needs to be same as in your English version, because Houzez uses those and replaces with your website URL. For example, here you can see your listing disapproved. So this is a message that is shown to a user uh, whose listing has been disapproved by admin. And you can see there are like 427 strings here. If you want to increase the number of strings shown or displayed on the screen, you can change here. For example, if I switch to the 20 strings right now, so I can, for example, if I want to translate this rooms, or we can simply switch back here and see which thing we can translate. For example, we translate the year built. So I am going to simply copy this one here and paste here. um, Most of the time, if you simply translate all of these strings, then you don't need to copy and paste here and search, because if you are native to a language, you can simply just keep adding the translation to every next string that you see on the list. um, for example, we simply let's say we just want to translate this one here, and I am going to search this, and here you can see year built. We see three strings here with the same text. So if I click on it and provide the translation from Google Translate, since Arabic is not my native language, so I'm simply going to use the Google here and copy this translated string. I'm not sure if it is perfectly fine for ear built, because the robotic translation sometimes does not take the context into account. For example, property here is a building or house or something like that, but if you simply write property here and uh, it is not translated to translating the property here from English to Arabic. This doesn't mean the property that is some building or land or something like that. That is here ikarat. So something related to real estate or something like those. So different languages have different context and different words for contextual meanings. For example, here property is some taken as attribute or it is its origin. For example, here it is al khasiya means its attribute, not the building or something like that. So it all depends if you know the language properly or not. So I am going to simply click on. So here you can see another thing that WPML automatically provides. For example, if you have provided the translation for a text in the past, when you simply click on it for the untranslated one, it will load from memory or load from the database that is already translated. So here you can see it is automatically, I am not writing these, it is automatically picking from the history. For example, if we want to translate this one, here I'm going to copy. I'm not sure, again, I am not sure if it is the correct, but I am just going to show you how you can provide translation for English into your native languages. Let's switch to the front end. So I'm going to reload here, and here you can see it is translated. For example, if we want to translate the description here, we can simply copy here and translate the description. I am simply going to a description, the description. I think detailing, I think this one is correct for the description. I'm not sure, still not sure. But as you are native speaker of your language, you know better one. So this description should automatically load the previous. So these are as you can see here, you are seeing translation saved message. So it means it has saved the translation. As you can see, it is translated here. So again, I was just showing you how you can specifically search for a string in admin text houses, or you can select all domains, and it will search in all domains. But it is suggested that you translate at least all of the 427 strings from Houzez domain, as well as if you scroll down, you should see these houses C fields. C fields are something like provided in field builder, or things that are provided here. So you need to provide the translation for these as well. So this is how you can use the string translation to translate strings that are not automatically translated by the translation management feature of the WPML.